Good morning to our faculty, staff, students, alumni, stakeholders, and to our new Wesley College family. Good morning to all of you. I wanted to play that video of Kevin Perry, who graduated twice over from Delaware State University a few years ago, because he just was in a contest called TBS HBCU Cash Out, and it's for recent HBCU alum to tell their story of why their HBCU was important. I'm also pleased to announce that Kevin won the award for that TBS program, which is $25,000. You will see him on ABC at 1 o'clock today, and then again on TBS later this evening. So I hope you all are giving him a big virtual round of applause. My favorite part of that video was when he said he didn't come to Delaware State as a king, but Delaware State made him one. And that's what we're going to do every day. Thank you, kings and queens at Delaware State University and our new Wesley family. Thank you all for what you're doing and what you're going to do. And thank you for what I hope is an exciting holiday season. I know I had a great time with my family and friends and loved ones. I hope you did too, and I hope you're ready to run to the finish line here at Delaware State University. We have a lot to be proud of this year in the middle of a pandemic, and we are continuing to shine brightly. I'm also pleased to say that at 1 o'clock today, we will unveil the big banner that will sit at Claiborne Smith Administration Building. It'll be a banner you can see from the highway celebrating the 130th anniversary of Delaware State University. And you could think about that as really beginning our opportunity to celebrate 130 years of great service here. I'm told actually that the video that I was just referencing didn't actually play. So let's take the opportunity to play it one more time. Give me a minute.
My name is Kevin Perry from Alexandria, Virginia. I earned my Master's of Business Administration and Data Analytics from the illustrious Delaware State University as a first-generation 2019 college graduate. During my tenure, I had the honor of serving as the 13th Mr. Delaware State University, making me the first student athlete to hold an executive position. DSU has allowed me to be the agent of change for my family and community. There are currently only 4 Black CEOs of a Fortune 500 company. I aspire to one day become the 5th while continuing to serve as a mentor and a positive representation for Black men. Currently, I am a consultant for a global accounting firm, and I strive to be the first choice for employers in the global market. The core values of DSU, diversity, integrity, scholarship, community, and outreach has helped mold me into the man I am today. I wasn't born a king, but this university made me one.
Now I hope you know why I'm so proud, and I hope you are too. Again, Kevin will be appearing on ABC at 1 o'clock today, and later this evening on TBS as the winner of the HBCU Cash Out prize for recent alum. We're going to talk about several things today. The first is commencement. I have the architects of last year's commencement on the call with me, Dr. Francine Edwards of BET fame, and Dr. Irene Hawkins of Long Island, New York fame. They both will have an opportunity to share with you the commencement activities. I want to be clear here for the class of 2020, who had the best virtual commencement in the country last year. You will also have your commencement this year in person. We will be celebrating you. We made that promise to you this time last year when we could do it again, and we are going to do that and do it safely during this year's commencement activities. To the class of 21, including those who graduated in the fall and the summer, you will also be having your in-person commencement activity. This is our opportunity to do the right things, to do them safely, but to honor you in the right ways that you deserve. Dr. Edwards and Dr. Hawkins have been planning this for some time now. It will not be easy for us to pull off, but I am very, very confident in their planning. We expect to hold all activities outdoors. It will not look like the commencement activities you've seen before, but you'll get the opportunity to have your robes on and walk across that stage to get the credential that you have worked so hard for. So you'll hear about that here later today, both the class of 20 and the class of 21, including those who graduated in the summer of last year and in the fall of this year. Second, you'll hear from the best nurse in the country, Dr. Michelle Fisher, who will talk to you about our COVID-19 update, as she so eloquently does, and Tammy Stoner, who is really the person behind kind of the Wizard of Oz. She's the person behind the door, pulling lots of strings here to keep us safe. So when you're thinking about our testing activity, what you'll hear about our vaccination activity, many of those activities, particularly how she has coordinated many of our volunteers, are coming from Ms. Stoner. I want to say a few things about our testing and vaccination protocols. First of all, our testing protocols continue to be substantively strong. That has not been easy. We have counted on you all to do the right things, to be responsible, to hold each other accountable, particularly your students. You've done that, and you've done it well. What you may not know, though, is the testing that we are doing now, in large measure, is from our testing lab. So we are literally using our testing facility to make sure that we can extend to you all the right kinds of protocols that keep you safe. I'm quite pleased to say that that testing lab started the day after Christmas and is now fully functional. So big shout out to Dr. Derek Scott, what he is doing for Delaware State University, and equally important, what I believe he will do for the state of Delaware around molecular testing and some of our sister institutions, which you'll hear about at future town halls. From a vaccination perspective, I feel very good about where we are. I should declare here loudly, as I think about our fall reopening plan, I expect everybody to be vaccinated before we return to campus next fall. The numbers suggest that we can do that, and we can do that well. Already, Dr. Fisher will talk to you about the significant number of folks who've already taken the liberty of getting vaccinated. I can tell you that that was one of my first orders of business for me and my family. As you can see, from the president to the governor, they are ambitious as it relates to vaccinating as many people as possible. Just today, you can now, if you're 16 or over, be vaccinated. And tomorrow, Delaware State University will hold its first vaccination clinic with 400 doses available. So students in particular, you now have the opportunity to make sure that you are taking care of yourself and each other. And I want you to take that very seriously. To my faculty and staff, I'm expecting you all to do the right thing as well. My goal is to have at least 50% of the university population having received one dose before we walk off this campus this spring. And as I said, I want us to be fully vaccinated before we return in the fall. You'll hear from Ms. Stoner that we have about 60 slots open for tomorrow, about 60 slots. I expect all those slots to be filled. I just talked to our Wesley colleagues just a few minutes ago and told them that if they want to get some vaccinations, whether that be faculty, staff, or students tomorrow, they should sign up. There's no guarantee relative to the appointments because those appointments go quickly. But you are open, you are part of the Delaware State University family. I want you to make sure that you are taking care of yourselves as well. And then finally, student life. Some of you may know, I don't usually say this publicly, but some of you may know that I went to the University of Delaware, and we were playing a game against them on Saturday at 6 o'clock. And I'm looking forward to Coach Milstead and the men of Delaware State University taking it to them in full HBCU Delaware State fashion. One of the reasons that's important for us this year is it'll be the first time in the 10-year run between Delaware State University and the University of Delaware that the University of Delaware is actually coming to us. our first home game against our in-state rivals. So in that spirit, we have developed a significant safe protocol to have fans at the games. So again, two students, and Ms. Hutchins has been exceptional here too. Two fans overall, but students in particular. We're giving you the opportunity to show up, support your university, support your team, and to do that safely and have some fun. As we come out of this pandemic, we're going to go slow, but we are going to begin to open ourselves up a little more as we return to normal. So that's the most exciting that I'm thinking about this week, but Ms. Hutchins will tell you much more about student life at the university and how that will continue to expand as we race toward our commencement activities. So I know I've said a lot. I'll turn it over to Dr. Edwards and Dr. Hawkins for commencement. We'll then go to Ms. Stoner and Dr. Fisher for COVID-19 updates and vaccinations, and then to Ms. Hutchins for student life. And as always, we'll happily take all your questions.
Thank you, Dr. Allen, and good morning to the Delaware State University and the Wesley College attendees today. Thank you for joining us. I hope everybody is well. So we're going to be giving you an update, those who are graduating in a couple of weeks. We're going to give you an update, Dr. Edwards and I, of the commencement activities that will be upon us shortly, as I explained. We had begun last week with the College of Humanities, Education, and Social Science and the College of Ag, the Sciences and Technology. We met with those two colleges last week. And we began with what we needed to put out there and what Dr. Allen just talked to us about, and that is COVID, testing, vaccines. And what we wanted to do was to tell the rest of the graduating seniors in the College of Business, and of course the graduate division and the College of Health and Behavioral Sciences, is that we did not forget you, okay? But we received information from our general counsel that the governor had modified the outdoor regulations. And what we had to do was stop at that point. So that's the only reason why we did not get a chance to speak to you, but we're speaking to you today. Before we go any further, and you could go to the next slide, but we've asked for Ms. Tamara Stoner, who is our Director of Enterprise Risk Management, to really talk about what the governor's modification changes are all about. So I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Stoner, and then I'll come right back to you. Ms. Stoner?
You're on mute.
Unmuted. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Hawkins. Just again, to reiterate what she has already stated, the governor did issue an 8th revision to the 27th modification to the state of emergency order regarding social gatherings. The order was effective on April the 1st, specifically outdoor venues with fire occupancy restrictions with more than 100,000 square feet of public space must limit occupancy to 50% of the stated fire capacity. Outdoor venues with fire occupancy restrictions with less than 100,000 square feet of public space must limit occupancy to 75%. Any outdoor venue hosting more than 150 people must still have a plan approved by DPH to mitigate the spread of COVID. Our football stadium is over 100,000 square feet. So we are in line with the capacity limitations, and we did recently receive approval for outdoor gatherings with alignment with the 50% restriction requirements. We will continue to follow the state guidelines regarding capacity, and we will also continue to follow regular safety precautions as outlined by the CDC.
Thank you, Ms. Stoner. Next slide. So as you could see on this slide, and for those two colleges that I mentioned before, it was something different than what you're seeing now. We're going to start off on May 7th. The commencement will be May 7th and May 8th. May 7th for all master's and doctoral students. So the School of Graduate and Adult and Extended Studies, Friday, May 7th at 10 a.m. in the courtyard at Tubman Laws. So this is a new venue that we are preparing to have our commencement stage, and social distancing in terms of our chairs for our graduates and for family members. The College of Humanities, Education and Science, Social Sciences, Alumni Stadium will be the location on Saturday, May 8th at 9 a.m. The College of Agriculture, Science and Technology, Saturday, May 8th at 9 a.m., Tubman Laws Courtyard. The College of Business, Saturday, May 8th at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, Alumni Stadium. The College of Health and Behavioral Sciences, Saturday, May 8th, 1 o'clock, the courtyard at Tubman Laws. And for the spring 2020 graduates, we are looking to have the commencement for this class at 4 p.m. on May 8th in Alumni Stadium. If there's any change to that, we will get back in touch with you. So we just want to make sure that you understand students who graduated in the summer and in the winter of 2020, they're included in the class of the 2021 ceremonies. So when I say the spring of 2020, that was the class, as Dr. Allen indicated, that had the virtual commencement. So those are the students that we're looking to have a in-person commencement at 4 o'clock on May 8th. Next slide. Dr. Edwards?
Good morning. Thank you. Good morning. I just wanted to add one thing to what Dr. Hawkins said. The members of the class of 2020 May should have received a link to a survey to complete to let us know if you are going to participate, because we do need to make arrangements and we do need to know the numbers of students that will be participating in that particular ceremony. So if you haven't gotten the link to that survey, I will make sure that we get it out there again to those graduates. So the tentative ceremony is basically being scaled back to keep in line with the state guidelines for gatherings. So we'll have a limited platform party for each of the ceremonies. We'll have the board's chair, the Board of Trustee chair, our president, provost, and dean will be on the platform. We'll have videotape portions similar to the 2020 virtual commencement, where we have our color guard and all of those things that you see on the screen. We'll have congressional messages, and we will have recorded messages from student leaders. We'll have a procession of graduates, which will be live. And I know a lot of students in the first two meetings that Dr. Hawkins and I were able to have asked about rehearsal. Again, because of COVID safety, we're going to try to do a virtual rehearsal. We will have faculty and some on-campus students serve as stand-ins, but the goal is to have that video posted on the evening of the 5th when the stages are all set up on campus. And we'll make sure that students have the links to see those videos. I'm sure what you're most interested in is how you're going to be crossing the stage. There will be plexiglass, so we do want you to be able to see that. But again, for safety reasons, the rehearsal will have to be virtual. There will be live messages from the platform party. and then we will have the conferring of the degrees. And then we will close with the videotape portion of our induction into the Alumni Association and our benediction. And again, another note on this slide, students will not receive their diplomas at commencement. They will be mailed once students have been cleared by the registrar. We are asking that every senior in the class of 2021 go into Banner and make sure your address is the correct mailing address where you want to have your diploma sent. Next slide, please. With regard to some special things on the screen, you can see the nursing pinning ceremony. We do not have the details for that as of yet. We are working on that, but we do know that participants have to wear your required academic regalia. Ordering regalia for the overall commencement, the last day to do that is today. We worked with Ms. Joanne in the bookstore to get that extended, and an email was sent out last week with those instructions. So if you haven't ordered, please make sure you've ordered. Again, the address that's on file with Banner is going to be the address we send that to you, send your regalia to. It's going to be sent directly to you. And you do have to pay your graduation fees because the cost for your regalia is rolled into that. All you're doing is paying your postage for the mailing of your regalia. Then event ticketing, we are working with DSU's ticketing system as we've done in the past. There will be the minimum 2 tickets, the maximum 2 tickets per graduate. And we do want to let people know that infants, toddlers, small children do count as one of your guests. The ticket link will be forthcoming as well as the process for being able to get those tickets. So if you have any questions, make sure you're going to the DSU commencement website as it relates to those things. Next slide. Dr. Hawkins.
So the power of you to make this commencement safe, and Dr. Allen reiterated that to us in his opening remarks. And that is our primary goal, is to make sure that everybody who's coming to enjoy the commencement and watch the graduates receive what they have worked so hard for, actually sit there and watch them and just celebrate. To do that, the COVID-19 requirements, we need to limit the number of people on campus, as Dr. Edwards just said. I have to reiterate it, and you're going to hear this quite a bit as we move towards the May 7th and May 8th. We must adhere to the 2-ticket maximum for each graduate. The infant, toddlers, and small children do count as 1 ticketed guest if they attend. So I'm just saying you must understand this is to keep everybody safe. All guests must be prepared to show a negative COVID-19 test taken a minimum of 3 days prior to commencement, or proof of a completed COVID-19 vaccine certification. All guests should comply with the temperature screenings when asked. They will be set up at the entry points to both commencement areas. Masks must be worn properly at all times while you're on campus. And even if we're outdoors, I know people will say, but we're outdoors, you must have your mask on. Families are asked to sit together, socially distant, if you are attending the ceremonies on campus. There will be people in the stands that will ask you to either shift where you're seated, or if you don't have a mask on, they will ask you to put a mask on. Next slide. Dr. Edwards.
With regard to graduation requirements for the class of 2021 specifically, we're asking that you look at the requirements on the website and make sure you have met those university requirements. But we're also encouraging you to work with your academic advisors or direct questions about graduations to your chairs. If a matter needs to be elevated, it should be elevated to your college dean, and the college deans are listed on the screen as well. And we're asking that you do this because sending those questions or comments or inquiries to academic affairs or to the office of the president slows down our ability to be able to help you. The deans and the chairs and your academic advisors can help answer those graduation questions and get you cleared. Next slide. So we have been communicating with Taylor Coleman, who is a senior class recording secretary, and she forwarded the email regarding senior class portraits because some students were asking about that. Students who are living on campus and are members of the class of 2021 can fill out the form. The link is on the screen, or contact Ms. Coleman for more information. But we have made arrangements for the current students living on campus to get their senior portraits done. They will release information about sessions for all other seniors that will be announced at a later date. But we're asking that if you are a senior living on campus, that you sign up using this form so that they can go ahead and make arrangements for your portraits to be done on the dates as you see on the screen. Next slide.
So we're going to hold off on the questions until the end of all of the presentations. So we will, if we have time, we will definitely answer your questions. We're going to turn the presentations over to Dr. Fisher and Ms. Stoner at this time. Dr. Fisher?
Yes, good morning, everyone. I'm going to begin by sharing with you some of the data from, next slide, please. Some of our data from Delaware State University, our testing data. So from January 4th through March 31st of this year, we have administered 29,414 tests. We've had 174 cases with an overall positivity rate of less than 1%. Next, I'm going to talk a little bit about an article that came out on March 2nd in the New York Times called Tracking Coronavirus at Colleges and Universities. Since this January, more than 120,000 cases have been linked to colleges and universities in the United States. That is a 30% increase since the end of 2020. More than 535,000 total cases have been linked to colleges and universities since the beginning of the pandemic. This year, 17 colleges reported more than 1,000 cases of COVID-19 on their campuses. I share this data to demonstrate that overall, DSU is doing very well in controlling the spread of COVID-19 on our campus. However, as you see, college campuses are not immune to COVID-19. If colleges and universities, faculty, staff, and students do not get vaccinated, COVID-19 will continue to spread on our campuses. Next slide, please. So I'm going to spend the majority of my time talking about COVID-19 vaccines. COVID-19 vaccines are a critical prevention strategy in controlling the spread of this virus. If you notice on the picture, it has been added to the beginning of the link that shows the preventative strategies that are recommended by CDC and Public Health. So next, I will talk about the number of individuals vaccinated. In the United States, more than 165 million doses of the COVID-19 vaccine has been administered. 61.4 million people are fully vaccinated, and 106.2 million people received at least one dose. On our campus community, approximately 109 employees are fully vaccinated, and 152 received their first dose. Kudos to these individuals, but we need everyone vaccinated. So vaccines on campus. COVID-19 vaccines are now available to college students. This week, a total of 38 states, including Delaware, will vaccinate individuals ages 16 years and older. Some clinics are still prioritizing certain groups, and it is contingent on the type of vaccine. Currently, Pfizer is the only vaccine approved for use in individuals ages 16 and up. The Moderna and Johnson & Johnson are approved for ages 18 and up. All eligible individuals should get vaccinated. The university goal, and as you heard Dr. Allen say, his expectation is that we have a fully vaccinated campus community by the fall 2021 semester. Tomorrow, and Mrs. Stoner will talk more about this, DSU will hold its first vaccine clinic on campus, and 400 vaccines were available. Students who are not able to get vaccinated on campus should get vaccinated before returning to campus. So next slide. Oh no, stay there. Why should we get vaccinated? According to health experts, COVID-19 vaccines are safe and effective. To date, millions have been vaccinated with minimal adverse reactions. According to Dr. Fauci, as long as people are susceptible to the virus, it will continue to spread. The level of infection goes down if we all get vaccinated. Recent studies indicate that fully vaccinated individuals who are infected with the virus and do not have symptoms may not be infective because they have less virus in their nasal pharynx cavity. A larger study is currently being conducted to confirm this data. Dr. Chen, the American College Health Association's COVID-19 Task Force medical advisor, stated that restrictions cannot begin to be eased until 70 to 90% of the population is immune, either through vaccination or natural infection. It is important to understand that natural infection means that you would have had to have COVID-19. However, it is now known that immunity through natural infection decreases over time. Vaccines, whether you were previously positive for COVID-19 or not, is still our best line of defense. Although there is still a small risk of being infected with COVID-19, the vaccines then prevent serious illness, hospitalizations, and death. I cannot stress enough, it is important to protect ourselves, protect your loved ones, protect the university community. Get vaccinated. There are also benefits that have been identified by the CDC for individuals who are fully vaccinated. You can gather indoors with other fully vaccinated people without wearing a mask or staying 6 feet apart. You can gather indoors with unvaccinated people of any age from one other household. For example, if you're visiting a relative who all live together without mask or staying 6 feet apart, unless any of those individuals who are living in that household are high risk. You can travel without quarantining after travel, both domestically and sometimes internationally, depending on your state requirements. Another plus is that fully vaccinated individuals who have been exposed to someone with COVID-19, if they are not having any symptoms, they do not have to quarantine. So how do we define fully vaccinated? It is 2 weeks after you have your second dose in a 2-dose series, or 2 weeks after you have received the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. Next slide. As we begin to increase activities on and off campus, all CDC, public health, and university COVID-19 prevention measures must be followed. I'm not going to read this whole list, but it is important to still wear a mask that covers your nose and mouth to protect yourself and others. Stay 6 feet apart from others who don't live with you. Avoid crowds and poorly ventilated indoor spaces. Wash your hands often with soap and water, and use hand sanitizer if soap and water are not available. Stay home when sick. Do not go to work. Do not attend in-person classes or activities. And be alert for your symptoms. Monitor your health daily. In closing, let's not become fatigued in continuing the safety measures that have been proven to prevent the spread of this virus. Dr. Fauci and other medical experts feel very confident that COVID vaccines can protect you from the virus and help us all get back to normal. but not before a large number of people get vaccinated. On Saturday, Dr. Fauci stated that if we hold out a little bit longer and give the vaccines a chance to work, life as we know it will begin to normalize. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Dr. Fisher. And I just wanted to add some points about tomorrow's vaccination event. It'll be our first vaccination event on campus. Again, tomorrow, April the 7th, from 9 o'clock to 1 p.m. It will be held in Memorial Hall Gymnasium. There was a e-news that was circulated on last week. It was on April the 1st. We're asking that you would pre-register in advance. There is a link embedded in the communication. If you would just please click on that link. Also, there's a consent form that was attached to the communication. We're asking everyone to please complete the consent form and bring it with you at the time of your appointment. If you are unable to access a printer, we will have some available for you to handwrite while you're there. Also, just to reiterate, this vaccine is being offered to all faculty, staff, and students age 18 and older. The type of vaccine that is being provided will be the Moderna vaccine. There will be another vaccination event scheduled 28 days later. We will be sending out another communication to let you know when that date will be. Again, this Moderna vaccine is targeted and recommended for people that are 18 years old and older. Okay, we did receive some questions about some people wanting to know if we could give the vaccine to age 16 because of the governor's recent announcement. But again, we just want to emphasize that the Moderna vaccine is recommended for people age 18 and older. We do also have another event forthcoming. We do not have any details, but as we get details, we will certainly share them with you. That next event will be held on April the 16th. And again, we will communicate those details to you at a later date. Lastly, I did want to mention that if you're unable to attend any of the DSU special events, you can sign up for the state's COVID vaccination wait list. That vaccination website is vaccinerequests.delaware.gov. Again, vaccinerequests.delaware.gov. If you do not have a computer, you can call 833-643-1715. Again, the waiting list can be found at vaccinerequests.delaware.gov. If you do not have access to a computer, please feel free to dial 833-643-1715. Thank you.
Hutchins?
All right. Hi, everyone. I am Kiana Hutchins, Director for the Office of Student Leadership and Activities. And purpose for me being on the forum today is to share good news with our student body. And the good news is that Spring Fling will happen, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So I've had a lot of questions these past few weeks or even months, right, about when things are going to somewhat return to normal, when those engagement opportunities are going to be opened up. And I am thrilled to say that the engagement opportunities are certainly here for Spring Fling. So I'm super excited again to share with our students today. We Outside Spring Fling 2021, all right? So We Outside is certainly a motto, a phrase, right, that has circulated quite a bit within our student population. It's ironic because our plans, of course, got thwarted last year with COVID-19, and we weren't able to have a We Outside Spring Fling. But this year, we are very much looking forward to keeping the We Outside theme and making it happen in just a few weeks, all right? So I'm going to share with you some quick activities, right, that we've put together for Spring Fling 2021. I have been working diligently with the Campus Activities Board advisors, and I've also been working with two of our most ambitious student leaders, I would have to say, in terms of describing them. And those student leaders are Jonte Simmons and Jordan Spencer, who also have been working diligently with the 130th Anniversary Committee. So really quickly, the events that we have, we want to start with a DSU Hornet Parade on Saturday, April 17th. So the parade is actually the concept of Mr. and Miss Delaware State University, Ashley Davis and Christian Chapman. They came to me weeks ago about wanting to get a parade together on campus, and I'm happy to say we're going to make it happen on Saturday, April 17th. The marching band is committed, the cheerleaders are committed, and registration is open. It's been open now, I want to say, for the past week. Information has been sent out through marketing. It's appeared on e-news, and also emails have been sent directly to our students and our staff. So registration is open. It closes on this Saturday, April 10th. But we're thrilled to have the support of, again, the marching band and the cheerleaders, and kudos to Mr. and Miss Delaware State University for coming up with this idea. And I certainly look forward to participation from our student organizations and from many of our campus departments. We want everyone to get involved. The parade will be held on campus. There's a route that's been mapped out for us by our campus police department. So the plan is to begin the parade right outside of the Education and Humanities building, track the parade, of course, on campus, throughout the residence halls, and end right outside of the MLK Student Center. So Saturday, April 17th, parade start time is 1 o'clock. And then following the parade, we intend to have some pregame activities because that will be the final home game for our football team that day. So we plan to have some pregame activities along with some food provided by Aramark immediately following the parade leading into the game. We also, for Spring Fling, have our flag football powder puff game that is always a highlight of homecoming, right? So we want to make sure that we get the recreational component added into Spring Fling. So I'm working closely with our wellness and recreation staff to make the flag football powder puff game happen. Also, we have a comedy show, a unity cookout, and what I feel like students have been asking for the most, an outdoor concert, all right? So students, I've heard who you want to see, right? Pooh Shiesty, I think we have CJ, right? Just throwing out a couple of names, Lil Durk, right? So I am working closely with our promoter to put together a concert for everyone that is sure to be very entertaining, all right? The theme, again, I have to say, we outside. So the plan is literally to have all of these events outside, all right? Having them outside certainly allows us to maximize capacity, to have larger numbers outside. So 5 events for you, right? We want to make sure that all of the events incorporate everything, right, about our university and just really seize the opportunity that we have here to be engaged, but also to do it as safe as we possibly can. All right, please note that the events will certainly highlight the 130th anniversary. So we're still working through how we will incorporate that celebration into each of our events. Students, it's important that you please be on the lookout for additional details, right? Ticket information, that information is forthcoming. The tickets more than likely will be sold on our DSU ticketing website, as they've always been before in the past. And then last but not least, there will be COVID testing guidelines that we'll have in place for all students to follow to make sure, again, that we are maintaining a safe and healthy environment for these events. So again, I'm thrilled. I'm excited to present Spring Fling to you, and I hope that you are excited about what's coming. And also, not to jump too far ahead, but I definitely want to throw it out there as we return to normal, that there's certainly more to come in the fall semester. All right. And then one other thing, I apologize, it's not on the slide, but I am working diligently with Dr. Downing, right, to present a block party, an end of the year block party for not only DSU students, but also the students from Wesley College. The date for that is April 30th. The plan is to have it be one big student organization fair comprised of DSU current orgs and those orgs that have existed at Wesley. So we kind of want to bridge everyone together on April 30th and have a huge block party on that day. So it's certainly a lot of exciting stuff coming your way, and I look forward to seeing many of you joining us for these events.
Thank you, Ms. Hutchins. We're going to go right to questions. We're a little short on time. So, Brother McMillan.
If there are people who choose not to get vaccinated, will they still be allowed to attend classes?
If you do not get vaccinated by the fall of 2020, you will likely be in the hybrid situation that we are currently in. So being on campus will not be the option, but being able to take classes will continue as it has this past year.
When we schedule our vaccinations on campus, will we have the opportunity to select the vaccination of our choice?
You will not, and the reason is that as we get these opportunities to vaccinate, the providers, meaning the pharmacists and Division of Public Health, are actually picking the vaccines that we're able to choose. So we don't have a particular opportunity to tell folks that we can have all 3 vaccines available. Having said that, you'll always know which vaccine we do have available, and you can take the opportunity to act accordingly.
If we don't have a consent form for the vaccination tomorrow, will we still be allowed to get in?
I'll turn that to Dr. Stoner.
So the answer is yes. We will have some printed forms available for you when you arrive.
Great.
Are faculty hooding doctoral students for the graduation?
I'll give that to Dean Edwards.
We're looking at the number of doctoral students, and we don't think that would be a problem because there are a smaller number of our master's and doctoral students graduating. But we know that's a special part of the ceremony, and we're looking forward to including that. So we will post that information on the website. Good question. Thank you.
Will students have the option of attending virtual or in person for the fall?
We'll have the details of our fall reopening plan, but just so you get some sense, we learned a lot over this past 18 months, particularly as in the way that we offer instruction, and that's going to make us a better university with more options for you. So while we're not ready to share the full version of that plan, you can expect that if you want to go to Delaware State University and continue to go, which we certainly hope you will, there will be options for you to continue.
Do graduates have to be tested or vaccinated for the actual graduation?
No, we'll have a protocol around testing in specific. Now, let me just say this again, because I think it's important. And I know there's been some debate on the national scene, particularly among communities of color, about vaccinations. It's important that our communities take care of each other. So while it won't be mandatory with respect to you graduating, as I said, I think we have led by example throughout this process. And we're now at the tail end of it. I don't know how many people saw on ESPN this morning that the Texas Rangers game was literally at 100% capacity, 100% capacity. And you can expect that was a super spreader event. There's spikes in Michigan and many in Texas, Florida, and many other places in the country because people believe that this is over. This is not over. We are at the last stretch, And I want Delaware State University in particular, and particularly our communities, along with Wesley College, to be leading by example.
Is it required that staff get vaccinated?
Again, for the fall, particularly faculty and staff, it will be very important that we're at 100% vaccination for those who are on campus.
If you choose not to actually attend graduation, will it be a virtual concept?
Well, I think as we have always done, Dr. Edwards and Dr. Hawkins will keep me honest here, we always stream graduation activities. They're shaking their heads. So that will not change. We will continue to stream the graduation ceremonies.
That's all that I'll go for now, Dr. Allen.
Okay, thank you. And thank you to my colleagues for a wonderful, rich discussion among some key topics. I hope you are feeling like I'm feeling, that we are getting close, but we have to race to the finish line thoughtfully and safely, and again, come out of this better than when we entered it. I also hope that you will take an opportunity to visit ABC today at 1 and see our illustrious Kevin Perry in all his glory, and later tonight on TBS. I do thank you for everything that you're doing. I want to give a special shout out to our Wesley family as well, as we begin to actually continue to have you all become a part of the Delaware State University family. It is a rich, rich legacy of 130 years, and now you are going to be another big part of that wonderful institution of ours. So with that, we will see you all next week at next week's forum, and stay safe. Do the right thing, care about yourself, your family, and others, and good things will happen. Have a great day.